Welcome to ConvertAbout Reviews. I'm your host, ConvertAbout, and the star of the show this week is the Flint & Toys Furai model kit, Shockwave. And yeah, this is a model kit, so it's a figure that you actually have to build. And unfortunately, though, it doesn't transform, which, yeah, is usually a point of contention, but...
What the slag? Kick me. Why would you buy a figure that doesn't transform? You're a Transformer fan, aren't you? That's like blasphemy. Seriously, if this was a religion, you'd be burned at the damn stake. Mouse toy barn looking mother.
Listen, DR, I fully understand that. And to be fair, I don't really like figures that don't transform. It kind of defeats the purpose. But I do have a soft spot for really detailed figures with incredible articulation for less than $50. So, checkmate. Let's get into it.
Right off the bat, the painting and sculpting on this figure is amazing. The painting is minimal, relegated to only the Decepticon symbols on his arms, but even then, it's still printed on very nicely. The build itself did not have any real issues for me. It was a very, I want to say, thorough build process. It didn't have anything too complex to do. The other Furai model kits I have were actually a lot tougher to build, mainly because of some very minor issues with trying to get everything together. Here, it was actually quite decent. It went through pretty okay, and we got a epic as all hell Shockwave figure out of it, even featuring some light piping too. Gotta love it when a figure does that. And since this is a model kit, you do get some accessories you can build. However, they're mostly relegated to different hands. The hands you get are closed hands, open hands, clawed hands, and trigger finger hands, which can be used to hold his included gun, which, if you're a little eagle-eyed here, or know anything about G1, this is clearly Shockwave's alternate mode. So, while this figure doesn't transform, it's nice that they included it. Looks great too. While you do have a few accessories, these help very much with the exceptional posability.
Alright, now I wasn't kidding when I said this figure was hyperposable. Alright, one of the major selling points of this figure is the fact that he's got a lot of points of posability, including a ball joint of the head, which does allow for a full 360, kind of gets stuck. The head itself is on this sort of a hinge thing. It can only go up that high, but down far. It moves it in. Very nice. Alright, you can get some nice range of movement there. The arm is on a hinge that can extend a little bit. Alright, a little bit more, which that itself is on a butterfly joint, which can move forward pretty good. The arm got a bicep swivel, very nice, and a double bend at the elbow. And then both hands are on ball joints, including his cannon. But then again, Shockwave without a cannon is just straight blasphemy. Moving these out of the way, his chest is segmented, where it's got a nice ab crunch, and even an arcing back too. Very nice. I know some degenerates out there that would lose their shit over this. Also, weirdly enough, his chest here also moves, so yeah, that's more a bit of articulation there. Cool. Full-blown waist swivel, including a side-to-side. It's just on a ball joint, which is very nice, but you also do get some more side-to-side movement because the top part is also on a ball joint. So that's really cool. The skirts are probably the one area I don't like because they're not really connected. This part is on a hinge. This part is on a ball joint. However, they're not connected. So, unfortunately, because they're not connected, and let me move this out of the way so you can actually see it. Because these are not connected, these tend to fall off very easily. Case in point, if I try to move the leg up, move it past that far, and it's going to pop right off, and that fell all the way down. Hang on. Oh, we're good. Yeah, fortunately, because it is just on a ball joint, pops right back in. Though just be mindful that there are some tolerances you got to follow. Though, speaking of the legs, it actually has a nice little assembly in there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but where you can actually swing the leg down to get some more posability out of it. Alright. Who'd have thought Shockwave got the buns of steel? You do get a double bend at the knee. Very nice. Some thigh swivel action here, which can do a full 360, which is nice, though it's going to look weird if you do it all the way. It's also got a toe bend, which kind of tends to stick at a toe bend. You can actually move down and all that. And then, of course, foot is on a ball joint and a little bit of a hinge situation, so it can actually move in and out a little more. So, yeah. And, of course, the spread. Hold on. Das spread.
Very glad because the figure doesn't transform, they actually worked some posability gimmicks into this, and as a result, it's a very posable figure. And if you just so happen to be very knowledgeable about posing, totally not salty about this, you can get some good, nice poses. Take a look. This is what Sigma males think they are. Before we end this review, let's get some size comparisons out of the way. Here's Mechanical Skull Studios Starscream, Cybertron Deluxe Hotshot, and another review, the Mastermind Creations Medicus.
As I mentioned previously, figure is cheap, got great posability, and just absolutely look amazing. I mean, seriously, here's a nice little another close-up of it. Alright, if there is one word I can describe this figure is to quote Shockwave himself, logical. Seriously, if you want a Shockwave figure, this is probably the one to get. And yeah, compare it to your standard like hyper posable figure. Alright, this thing's a tops. And again, for less than $50. To put that bluntly, okay, so a little bit more than a modern-day Voyager figure. It's an authentic Transformers product. It doesn't transform, but you really don't need that for this. All I gotta say is, I really like this guy. And yeah, I totally would recommend him. Either way, I'm ConvertibOt. This is Shockwave. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the review. As for my next one, we're going to be taking a look at probably one of my favorite characters of all time. Stay tuned.